Hi, I'm Robert Osborne. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us for December's edition of our Friday Night Spotlight on TCM. This month we're going to be paying tribute to director and choreographer Charles Walters, talented director of many of MGM's most popular musicals, including Easter Parade, High Society, Lily, The Unsinkable Molly Brown, but a man mysteriously unknown to most people, even dedicated movie fans. But author Brent Phillips knows all about Charles Walters. He's just written a new book, Charles Walters, the director who made Hollywood Dance, which is out this month. And Brent's here to help me introduce a whole slate of Chuck Walters films. Welcome, Brent.
Thank you so much. It's
good
a
to
pleasure.
have you here.
Thank you.
Now, we start our salute to Charles Walters with some films from very early in his career. But before we bring you the first one, let's talk a little bit about Charles Walters himself. Now, he started out as a Broadway dancer, right?
Yes, he did. He actually was very renowned on Broadway. He introduced the song Begin to Begin with June Knight in the show Jubilee. He was a featured dancer in Rodgers and Hart's I Married an Angel, Cole Porter's Dewberry Was a Lady.
With Betty Grable.
With Betty Grable,
yes.
Actually, opposite him, absolutely. They had a grand time working together. Yes,
before Betty was Betty Grable.
Exactly. Zanuck also asked for Chuck to come, too, because he was impressed, but Chuck very much wanted to stay and continue to learn his craft on Broadway.
We have to also say that there was no Gene Kelly at this point in the movies.
Correct.
So Chuck Walters, a good-looking guy, a terrific dancer.
Absolutely.
He had a couple of specialty numbers with Judy Garland in MGM movie musicals. Why didn't he become Gene Kelly?
You know, after he did those two numbers with Judy Garland, there wasn't a reason for him to. The studio had Gene Kelly by this time. They also had George Murphy, and occasionally they had Fred Astaire. So to add another song and dance man to their payroll really didn't make sense. And Arthur Freed, who was the great producer at MGM, basically said, I really think that you would be more beneficial to the studio in the dance department. And Chuck enjoyed working with the stars, and he enjoyed doing his choreography, so he was very happy to stay behind the scenes.
So now how did he get the chance going from being a dancer to directing a movie like his first movie, Good News?
During the 5 years that he was a dance director, and he was a dance director from 1942 to 1947, during those 5 years, he had time to learn how to film musical numbers, and by the time 1947 came around, he very much wanted to move into directing. He had, as a dance director, the great opportunity to go onto so many movie directors' sets. So he got to watch and work with Ruben Mamoulian and Vincent Minnelli and all of these other wonderful directors, which if he would have just started off as a director, he would never have been able to see them interacting.
So he knew what he was doing by the time he got the chance.
Yeah.
So his first movie is our first movie, Good News, one of my favorite musicals, I must say.
It's wonderful.
June Allison, Peter Lawford, Joan McCracken from Broadway, Ray McDonald, a great dancer. And also so important to this film, I think, is Kay Thompson with her vocal arrangements that she did.
Absolutely.
It's got a really very sophisticated Broadway touch to this movie because of people like Chuck Walters and Kay Thompson and everything.
And the screenplay was done by Betty Comden and Adolph Green, and it was their first picture. And the great thing about bringing in a director who knew how to choreograph, Chuck could keep that movie moving forward with a pacing and a timing, almost like a dance number. And so you watch this film, and it just is pure entertainment, just flying by, and it's very exciting.
Knocks you out from the very beginning.
Absolutely.
From the credits. Well, let's have a look at it. Here it is. The first movie directed by the man we're saluting every Friday this month, Charles Walters. From 1947, here's Good News.